Alright, I am back. You should come to this beautiful looking installation screen at the end. So what we're going to cover here is you need to keep all this stuff. So another very useful command in PuTTY is just go Control-C, just like you're copying in Windows. It's going to type it in the command, just don't worry about it. It did what you want. Make a new file and just paste it in here. Alright, you'll need that for later. So now what you can do is just continue here. If you want, you can log into the Vesta control panel already, but it's not going to be fully configured. So this is now getting into the more gruesome commands. Alright, speaking of gruesome, we should uninstall Apache because I did notice that it liked to attack nginx. I don't know why, but it does. Probably because of the ports and stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just never mind. But what we're going to do is copy that command, go back to your SSH, and hit enter, and hit yes. Alright, and here, so basically it's just telling me that the directory is not empty. Sometimes it's successful, sometimes it is not, so I'm just gonna let that one go for now. It doesn't matter. Apache wants to be installed, it can. But what we can do, maybe just in case, service Apache 2, what is it? I think so. Let's try that. Alright, cool. Anyways, so continuing. So this is the part of the tutorial just for the firewall stuff that if you're on CentOS or a Red Hat distro, you don't need to do these, so you can just kind of fast forward the video. Alright, so if you're on Debian or Ubuntu, paste these commands into your SSH console. Alright, let them run. That just installed the uncomplicated firewall, which is very useful. If you haven't changed your ports for SSH, then just use this command. Allow SSH, very important. If you enable this firewall without enabling your SSH ports, you won't be able to connect. Alright, we're opening port 80 now. 443 is SSL, so HTTPS. 8083 is for Vesta, allow that, and 465 is for outgoing SMTP. These are my default ports. You guys can change them around, add, remove, whatever you like. So now that that's all done, run this last command. It will enable the firewall. This is what I was talking about, but we already have our SSH rule enabled, so hit yes, and it shouldn't kick us out. If it kicked you out, you forgot to add your SSH command, and that sucks for you. It looks like you're reinstalling. Alright, so now we can log into the Vesta control panel, so we will do that now. And yes, if you notice here, it asks to reboot, but just ignore that. I'm ignoring my own rules. So now we can go into the browser. Just run that. You're going to get this. Your connection is not secure. It's because it's not a signed certificate, but it's still secure. So just go into it. Now we're going to be at this awesome looking page. In my opinion, it looks a lot better than cPanel and WHM. And you just type your credentials into here. You can save your credentials if you want, but because I'm just going to reimage after this tutorial, there's no point. Alright, so you will have this default user, keep it. You will have this local host, if you remember in this command. That's basically what this created. I usually delete it, so I'm going to do that in this tutorial. If you want to keep it, you can, but I'm not, so I'm going to delete that. And it's also going to, you saw that it also got rid of the DNS for it. So good, now what we're going to do is add a new user here. For the course of this tutorial, I am going to be using a legit domain that I own, but I am moving servers, so I thought I would show you guys this tutorial while I was doing it. So I always generate a password because they're a lot better than anything I could think of, so copy that and just remember your passwords. I usually create a little txt file that contains everything, so write user, keep your password in there, your email, that one. Let's try domain CA. There we go. Alright, package, we are just gonna go with, what are we doing? User. Okay, so these packages are basically what the control panel will look like. I like the default personally. All the languages it comes with, I speak English. Party. And send credentials to email address. I'm not quite sure if when you don't install the email systems with the Vesta install, which we did not in here. I'm not quite sure if it sends out the emails properly, but anyways, hit add. Cool, and it gives you a nice little option up here that we can log in as right now, which is good. So we're going to go to web. I'm going to add a domain, lockedright.com. It already auto-populates the IP that it's currently on. I don't like mail support. If you're wondering if you can still use mail support in PHP and stuff, yes you can. Alright, here, so basically aliases are like www. You want to keep that, keep it default. We will go over SSL support after. I don't like adding it right when I add the server, it's just superstition, but anyways. Web statistics, you should probably enable these of some sort. If you really don't want statistics, then you don't have to, but I use Webalizer, so that's what I use. Additional FTP, we didn't enable that in the installation, so I wouldn't use that. I will show you how to SFTP into the server. It's a lot more secure than FTP anyways, so alright, enough talking, let's add that. And as you can see, the domain was created successfully. And if you go to the DNS records here, you can see that it's also here. So it's a little out of scope here, but I will show you guys how to make sure that your DNS is pointed to the correct place. So here's my IP. I could copy it from here, but it's so much easier just copying it from up here. So go Control-C. Now we are going to go to, I'm already logged into my Namecheap account. I'm just going to paste the address in here. I already got it set up, so I'll just go in here, and I have my TTL at 1 minute, so it will update in the course of this tutorial, which will be nice. So I just updated my records in here, so you want to make sure you have @host and www, and you just add your IP in here, and it will probably in about a minute or two will start pointing over to this new server. But we're not quite done. We're almost. But let's try if we go to lockedright.com, if it's still pointed at the old server or the new server. So it's still at the old server. Alright, I might have to flush my DNS. I will show you guys that too if I have to. Alright, so continuing here. So the database, next big thing is you'll notice when you create a database in here, phpmyadmin is not configured. I have no clue why Vesta control panel, when it's installed, does not configure phpmyadmin correctly, but it does not. So I'm going to create users, pretty basic, normal thing to make a database for, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here, save it, user for it, admin. And also there is a character limit to these, so if your username when we were setting it up in the first place for this whole control panel, if it's longer than, I don't know, 8 characters, you're going to notice that you won't be able to type in your wanted username. Alright, generate, once again I'm just going to generate a password for it, a lot more secure than anything I can come up with. Type, if you have more databases installed, you can select the type here. Localhost, you want to make sure to keep it there. If you speak another language or something, you can change the char so that the database in there. Again, there's that domain that we signed up with in the initial install. So everything looks good. I'm going to add it. Alright, so it looks like it's successful. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to log into phpmyadmin here. Also a very useful tip. This password here is your root password for phpmyadmin. I will show you both ways, but for right now I'm just going to log in as right admin that we just created with this password and hit go. And you can see After it takes a while, it installs, and there's my right users database. Alright, but you can see that we have some errors down here and nothing works, and I don't know why this isn't configured at default, but if I click on right users, create a random table called table, because that's unique, and go, and then create an ID really quick, length, I don't know, 11, and hit save. You can see that I have a table here, but now you're going to notice when I click on it, I get these awesome errors, and you're probably like, how do I fix those? So we're going to do that right now. So I'm going to log out of here, and the server is super slow, and as you can see I get errors all over the place because phpmyadmin is just angry at life. So let's go fix it up. Alright, so I also have the commands for those. Just go back to the great compile Vesta panel how-to tutorial thing. Alright, so we're going to go through here. I am going to log in as root now, so make sure you copy that initial password that was given during the install. And I'm just going to go to open phpmyadmin again. The only thing that I dislike about cpanel versus this, but I love Vesta panel, it's great. But anyway, cpanel logs you in automatically to phpmyadmin. This one does not. So we're going to go root, type it in, go. It worked. Alright, you'll see we have more tables too when we're logged in as root. But we're going to click this new right here. Right over here, just click it again. Sure. I'm going to import, and this comes in handy with that file I provided you guys in that zip. So we're going to look for it. It's called createtables.sql.jz. GZ, and you're going to open that, and it just has a whole bunch of random tables that Vesta panel forgot about. So it does import successfully. Well, in mine it does anyways, and yours, if you get any errors, just leave it in the comments and we can figure it out together. But as you can see, it created phpmyadmin table. And yeah, we need that. So the next step is create new over here again, or click on new, sorry, and go to users, right over here, and we're going to go add new user, and then we're going to go to username, it's going to be PMA, and make sure this is localhost if you're communicating to the database on the localhost, which usually you are. Okay, so here, once again, I'm going to generate my password to go like that, few times, get one you like, go like that, copy it, make sure you write this password down because we will need it in a sec. And it wants me to save it because I have a habit of going Control S. And these here, database for user, just leave those unchecked, and you're gonna feel gross about this, but just leave global privileges unchecked. So this just makes it more secure. Just hit go right now. Alright, that will create new user. If you did it successfully, you'll see PMA, and instead of all privileges here, you should see usage. Now go edit privileges. This step is just important, or everything we're doing right now, it doesn't do anything. So go to database up here. Use this drop down menu. We're going to go phpmyadmin database, and you're going to go in here and it's going to go up with all the permissions it can have for this database. Just hit check all now. Hit go. Let it load. And now, as you can see, everything is good. We're not quite done. The control user is not set up yet. So let's go over to Vesta panel here. Alright, and now log out. Where are we? Alright, now the fun part. Alright, so the password that we have here, copy that now and open up this config file. And don't touch anything else other than this password right here. Make sure you get the greater than and less than signs as well. And paste your password in there. Save the file. And now what are we doing? Alright, we are going into FileZilla. FileZilla is an awesome FTP client. It also doubles as SFTP. So we can go in here. I don't believe I have the server yet, so I am gonna do random add And we're going to go in here and copy this IP, stick it into here. You guys should really be following along here because this is very useful for the future. And here for the protocol, we're going to go to SFTP, and you're going to need your logon type normal. So we're going to go root. Some people might be cringing at this point because I am using root, but just leave it be, and if you want to change this later and create SSH users later, you can. But for now, root is probably your best bet. Go to connect. It's going to take a connect here. Second to connect. Mixing up my words, I've been talking too long. Alright, let's see in here. Okay, where are we going? That's why I write these commands. Alright, so copy this basically, not the whole thing, but just up until the directory of phpmyadmin. Go into here, paste it in there, and now you'll see that there's a config file in there. It is wrong, so we are gonna drag our updated one into the server. Just hit, I usually always do this action if we have other stuff in the future that we're going to overwrite. Also, just side note, if you install FileZilla during this tutorial and your drag and drop does not work, you have to restart, and then it should. Just so you guys know. Alright, so if we did that all correctly, you do have to log out of phpmyadmin for it to reset. And then if we go to root, and I don't think I have the correct password saved in my clipboard, so I'm going to paste in there, hit go. And now when we log into phpmyadmin, you will notice that the errors are gone, which is good. And now if you go to write users and click on that table again, you can see that there are no errors and everything worked as you would think it would when we clicked it the first time. So you can go in here, you can go search, you can edit, you can see the structure, you can add new things to it, everything works. So that's good. That's basically, we're at the end of this tutorial. Let me just make sure any other things I should talk to you about. Oh yes, right, so the SSL. This one is interesting. If you guys get a weird error when you guys do SSL on through Vesta panel, this is why, and I'll go over it. I'm just gonna restart it here.